Want to learn more about the dynamics between men and women? Then check out the multi-part video series I have explaining the masculine and feminine energies. Access the link and watch it now. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be speaking about the reasons that a woman should get with an older guy. And the reason we're going to talk about this is because it seems that having certain age gaps in relationships today are kind of frowned upon in Western society. It's very interesting. It's extremely interesting because I would say an age gap in a relationship is actually more natural than equal age relationships. But again, I'm thinking of how life has been for millions and thousands and hundreds in the last decades that we've been on this planet, rather than just the last 70 years that has been modified by, the modern, fake empowerment feminist movement, right? So let's say this: the closer we are to nature's conditions, the closer we are to age gap relations being a necessity. So because this society has socially engineered equality, that is where I believe this confusion or this belief that there shouldn't be an age gap. Now, I'm not saying there should be, I'm just saying it's actually there's nothing wrong with it, is what I'm trying to say. So you have some people say like 5 years, a 5-year age gap. Let's say a 22-year-old gets with a 27-year-old or something like that. That's weird to them. And I'm like, but that's more normal than a 22-year-old getting with a 22-year-old. But I have to consider where they're coming from to even say that, right? And you know what's interesting? Women who are 22 will still go for a guy that's older anyway. They'll say, oh, I need a guy that is at least 2 years older. But I'll say this, right? The traits that a woman goes for is not just physical. It's very mental, it's very financial, it's very lifestyle wise, it's very spiritual. So the traits that a woman goes for increases in a man as time goes on, as he gains more experiences. That's why they say a man ages like fine wine. He gets better with time, but women age like milk because their value is heavily put into their fertility and so on, which is in their younger years, and it falls off as they get older and they're less fertile. But for a man, it's not really about that because his fertility remains until the age of practically death, I believe, for most men. And what the women go for men, what the women go to men for, the men get more of as they increase in age. So for example, if a woman goes for confidence, if she goes for a guy with status, if she goes for a guy with intelligence, if she goes for a guy with life experiences, bedroom experiences, all of these things increase as time goes on. I forgot to mention money. A man's gonna be in his financial prime usually after 35 and 40. So if a woman does take pride in financial security, it's likely she's just gonna desire an older man if that is high up her list, right? But we'll also say this: one of the biggest things I think is maturity. So a younger guy is more likely to mistreat her because he's just immature. And even where he has good intentions, this is still going to be the case. So let's say a 20-year-old girl gets with a 20-year-old guy. So the 20-year-old guy hasn't learned anything about life. He hasn't really learned how, especially in this day and age, how to lead a woman and so on. So he's just likely to mismanage and mistreat the situation because he just doesn't know how. Many guys know this, right? Your woman could be acting up in a certain way and there's a feeling of, what do I do? What do I do? This is why you go to the internet to try to learn it, because there's a sense of confusion for you. You understand that as a man, you are the one that's supposed to lead things forward and take control, but you just don't know how to. Whereas a woman doesn't really, it's not there. She's expecting the person on the other side to do it. And she finds that more with a man who is mature and has life experience. What's interesting is even if he has good intentions to be a good guy, at 20 or 21, it still doesn't matter. He could still just mistreat her because he just doesn't know how. He don't know how to handle certain situations. It's very interesting. I have a traditional mindset, so I would never think that that's weird. Now, I'm not saying that it should be, there should be an age gap. I'm just saying that an age gap is pretty normal, and if anything is more normal than the alternative. And the problem with this is a lot of people try to define it, right? So they try to define how many years is okay, but what gives you the right to do so? So if you say 2 years, why not 3? You know, it's very interesting. If you say 3, why not 4? And what validates the 4 being wrong from that person saying it? And you say 3, but because you said it, it's okay. You know, I really don't understand the moral entitlement that people have these days. Is very, very interesting. I would say if the 2 parties are happy, they're adult and they're consenting to the situation, it could be a 56-year-old woman with a 25-year-old man, and that would make it okay. I would never shame it because, well, they're adults, and really I don't care that much because it's not my life. However, I want to know what you think. So what do you think is appropriate and what do you think is wrong? For example, comment down below and let Reemus know. I'll see you in the next video. Want to learn more about the dynamics between men and women? Then check out the multi-part video series I have explaining the masculine and feminine energies. Access the link